Talk about leg locks. If you're not familiar, every class we're going to spend 2 or 3 minutes going over it. Each leg lock has a window of opportunity to tap before there's permanent damage. Straight ankle being the largest window. Does that mean you can't get injured if you're too bold and brave and prideful? Yes, you can. But you got that window, that leg starts straightening, that ankle starts bending, that calf starts hurting, that heel starts saying, let us go. You can tap, you have a window. Toe hold, smaller window. Feel that stretching on top of the foot, that turning, you're upside backwards, your foot's by your butt, you're like, oh Lord, I can't get out of this. It's at that point you know you messed up. Tap. Knee block. Lotless. You start feeling that leg going straight against your will. Usually it's going like this and you're like, no, I don't want it to go like that. Or you have it bent like this, all of a sudden their body starts extending and you feel this. If you don't feel like your hamstring's strong enough to bend it anymore, or your other foot's not helping, and your knee gets here, and you can't stop it, this is when you should probably tap. But once it straightens and you start to feel that burning, and your knee bending backwards, and you start to think yourself a flamingo, guess what? You done messed up. You shouldn't be tapping. You probably should have tapped earlier. Heel hook. No window. You get a heel hook going, and they got good technique, and they're doing the proper body mechanics on how to finish it, you have very little to no window. Some places will tell you, oh, that's not true. You got plenty of time. Many ACLs have said that in the past, and there's orthopedic doctors around this country who will say, don't tap. So, heel hook, it goes from 0 to torn ACL or other leg injury, like that, especially if they're not getting excited and just raking your ankle across, right? And you don't feel like your ankle's really cinched up, then you might be able to hide your heel, slide your foot out, right? But they've got it nice and tight, and you try to move your leg, and you aren't moving at all. You might even be pulling them a little bit. That's good control. They go to apply pressure with their hips, and you feel your knee starts to get tight and tight. Tap immediately, all right? Tap immediately. There's no reason you should try to be tough when it comes to a hook, okay? Because that's usually a surgery, okay? Some people can walk it off and limp it off. Maybe they're a little more flexible in the knee, whatever have you, but let's not risk it, okay? So today what we're gonna talk about, instead of so much going into each one of those, we're gonna talk about leg control, right? And we're gonna talk a little bit about positioning. So today's gonna be more along the lines of like, when you should be aware, what you can do, right? Things you can do when someone grabs your leg. And then obviously understanding when you've gotten too far in and when to go ahead and say tap, right? So my advice is this. This is not something that's widely spread across the jiu-jitsu community, but this is it. If you're a fledgling just starting out doing leg locks, you have repeated leg injuries, or you're just really concerned, there's nothing wrong with first and foremost discussing with your rolling partner before you start rolling what the limitations that you like to set. Nothing wrong with that. Second is, if you get in a position you're not sure of, tap. And if it's a higher ranked person or somebody who has experience with the leg locks, they weren't just grabbing it and going nuts, say, when we're done, I'd like to relive this moment so I can see what's happening, so maybe I can get out or understand it more. And at the end of the day, talk with your training partners, okay? I wouldn't say stop the round, go into a seminar, mid 5-minute round. Pause this, snapshot this moment, we'll come back to this at the end of the round, right? Other than that, we're gonna get into these positions real quick. Let me get, CJ, let me get you a couple real quick. So, a lot of times, we end up in these scenarios where, where somebody grabs your leg, right? And then they can pull your leg and go up into this outside Ashi scenario. Now, notice I started moving. I had to move my hips a little bit. CJ's underneath my leg, and what he's doing is he's using his body connection to straighten this leg and to climb up a little bit, but it's throwing me off my base, yes. One of the things that CJ can do to knock me down, notice his body isn't fully straight. If he straightens his body out, it pushes my hips back onto this foot. And also, he's pressing on my hips. A lot of times when they do that, they don't go slow like CJ just did, they kind of explode. And what ends up happening is you lose your base and you fall. So, I'll come here, CJ throws that up. First thing we need to do is respect everybody's game, right? Don't think, not this little guy, he's not gonna do that to me. You think everybody is gonna do that to you. So, good thing we've done in the past is a warm-up drill, and we're gonna do this today. He's here. He's in a good ankle lock, straight ankle position, but if I turn and expose my heel, he can shoot into a heel hook from here. What he would have to do is get my foot up off the mat, like that. He has my heel. Granted, I can hide my heel pretty decently from here, and I'm already in the direction I need to go to get away, to push everything off, slide my knee past his knee line. Knee line is where his two knees run across my leg. If my knee is outside of that knee line, that heel hook goes away. Doesn't mean I'm out of danger, just means my heel hook threat is gone. CJ gets in here, I turn like this, but I stay here. My knee is still there. He can adjust, he can hip, it's all threatening and attacking my knee, okay? Knee line. If I'm in this scenario, I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna go away. I like to use and pull this foot out. If I'm in a position where my knee's on the ground, I like to put my foot on his butt or his thigh, or whatever happens to be there as a counter, and I'm gonna shoot my foot out to get out of that, and I'm gonna turn and face him. Because I got out of that bad spot. If I just sit there, he's gonna come up and take my back, right? Boom. First thing I do is I get low here. Now CJ straightens his body out. Not so easy for him to do. Foot facing parallel here, this foot's here. I want to put most of my weight onto this leg. Keeping it down. That heel hook isn't there if he can't elevate and get to the heel hook. Now he can still attack at the straight ankle. Start getting that hand in, start doing that. We're not going to sit here with idle hands. You can't just sit here like this and expect that he's going to let go or things are going to change. Here's what we're going to do. I don't like this foot. It's keeping me here. I'm going to come in like this with my thumb down. People will come here and pull that, but I can only go so far. And if his foot goes with me, I can't really push it down. But if I think his technique sucks, and I'm going to put a thumbs down on his technique and grab his foot, now I bring it over and I can push it. Resist that. Hold up. Resist it. My thumb's down because your technique sucks. I'm going to go ahead and push it. I'm going to push his foot way off that hip. And notice I didn't let it go, because guess what happens when I push it off and I let it go? He throws it right back. So let's hold on to that foot. Takes away a weapon. Thumbs down, your technique sucks. Oh, here we go. And all I had to do, hop over that inside knee. Now I'm in mount. All right? So, to go over that again, sit there. Come in. CJ's brazen confidence says, you're not getting out of this. I don't care, walk up on me. He throws this up. Step one, we're gonna get low. Good squat. Leaning most of our weight here. Thumbs down, your technique sucks. I like to put this hand here already. And sometimes I'll turn it, cup it, pull. Keeping the foot, I step over. If you want to come down right here, sit on him, cool. If he's pressing on your chest, like sometimes people do, and giving you the arm bar, cool, turn the angle. I'll let go of that leg when I'm here. Okay? Any questions? All right, on three, we get our partners, give it a shot. 1, 2, 3.
Want to do first one?
Yeah, I'll let you sit down here first. Remember guys, get that nice, walk up next to his chest. Nibble height, next to his chest. He's gonna walk up on both sides of your body. Here.
Push out, pull.
Remember, get a good base. Good base. Guys, training partners on the bottom. If they're standing there, push them down. Extend your hips and knock them on their butt if they don't have a good base. Oh, if you fall, your base isn't good. Get a better base.
Like Eric was saying, he does
More. TK.
going down.
Exaggerate. Like really exaggerate. Try again. You stay. There you go. Exaggerate. Oh, here. Yes. Okay. Exaggerate. Tell him if he feels like I can still knock you over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah,
Right? Technique sucks. Jump down, push it, hop over, and jump down. There you go. Remember? So, this one. This here. This one. Your technique sucks. Your technique sucks. Grab that. Feel it. Feel it. Yeah. Step over. Step over. Step over. Drop down. Drop down. There you go. Here. Your technique's slow. Hop over it. You can't really say it out loud till you pass it. But you gotta feel it. Where he's throwing, he's trying to push you, he's gonna try to push you back. Yeah. Now, straighten that on out. You ready this time? Yeah. One more time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at how. Oh, you're straight up.
It's already hard to keep it there. Really hard to watch. Yeah, because I don't know
Now. It's like hard to turn a little bit. Yeah. Instead of just going along with this, you have to turn it. It also helps you as you turn. It's not a mechanical thing. So go ahead and set it again, but this time take a good deep back step. So boom. Thumb down, hand on the knee. Mechanical turn as you pull it. Feel better? Feel better? Take it forward.
and how the line of the back there, take one moment. Oh, this one goes far. Yeah.
That's a game break.
Every time you drop back into an arm bar, there's like a second. Those quick guys will come up on top of you.
What was the CJ? What was it? Yeah, he did. Everybody came in that Friday. Yeah, he did that. I think it was that Monday or Wednesday. He got off good because there was not a lot of people there.
Yeah, so
Just keep in there. Just keep
getting ours.
So see how he's pushing you everything. He was like, every time I bumped you, he got here. I thought you were pressing.
oh,
Keep like walking it up. Yeah. One of the things I like to do by zip time is it helps me to hold on to it. You go from like
I'm done.
here, I see the time. Where my feet is. Because when you attach it, where my nose this eye straight up. I try to put my hips out. But if it'll straighten out. He's got actually straight that way. Then I get here. I know it's and I start walking around. That's how especially when somebody is way only one way. This gets acceptable up. All you're not first. It's like straight away on it. Push it away. When I get that angle up, like his whole body, like my I tap there too. That's what you gotta get.
That's all they do.
You weigh 400 pounds. That makes perfect sense. Driving that way.
All right, everybody, circle up. So, when we're doing that, guys, you have to exaggerate. A little added technique to it that can help you sometimes. So I get low. Some of you guys were getting low here, and you were still getting pushed back. When he explodes his hips, which way are his legs going to force me? That way. So if my foot's over here, I'm gone. That's why some of you are having a hard time keeping the base. You have to put, there's a line going down the middle of his body. Put your foot in that line. And notice I'm exaggerating my bend and getting low to the ground. Right? And I'm letting all my weight drive in on him, on this foot and on him. One thing you can do, I like using this because as he goes to explode, go ahead and push up with your knee. I can stop this close and now I'm here tight to him. I turn a little bit. Did some of you guys have an issue with getting the foot off the hip? It's kind of difficult, weird angle, kind of here. What you can do is get here, straighten your arm, and then turn back. As you pop over, put you right into the position. One of the things that it's important is to exaggerate. Here. For him to push you, he's got to elevate you a little higher, and then you're covered in the back. Angling off, thumb down, hopping over. You feel like you're going, pull into this knee, okay? But that's just a few of the examples of things that you can use to stay there, all right? Now, some people are going to be just too much weight for you to bear, and it's going to knock you over, right? So as we land, or as we're in this position, we'll go to that second part, but we're here. If you don't feel like, or you feel like you're going to fall, you can try to turn and run, but you're going to need some space. You don't want to turn and run from here because that just turns your heel up, and now he's going straight into that heel hook, right? And don't sacrifice technique for an opportunity. A lot of times, a lot of mistakes have been made for people thinking, well, I just rip my leg out. Even if you're sweating, just think I can just rip my leg out. How many of you have been in an arm bar before and thought I can just stand up and pull it straight out, only to find that you made a big mistake? Because as that person's coiled up, ready to explode like a spring, and you stood up to get that arm out in the hopes that that person would stay down and that you would pull your arm out, it didn't happen that way. Same's here. He's a coiled spring. We're here. The only way we're getting out of this spring is unraveling. But if I try to turn, yes, this is the next thing we're talking about. Do that again. Do you know what he did? Pinched his knees together. Stay right there, Matt. Don't you move. Is that more your arms or your knees? Knees and legs. So, now we're going to talk about controlling the leg if we're the one attacking the leg, okay? So, there's lots of entries. There's lots of ways to get into a leg entanglement. The key to holding on to them is going to be with pinching your knees together. These are your strong muscles, and they can really clamp down on the leg. So, to start, we're going to go in the same position. We're going to get here. We're going to extend and put our training partner here. I want you to take your right arm, or your distant outside arm, not the one that you can attack with, and I want you to reach under, I want you to grab their calf muscle and pinch your legs and hold it. So you look like this. Now, I want you to tell your training partner to scoot away and get the leg out. All right? Okay. All right. No hands. Get your leg out. All right. That's it. I want you to start out with a good grip, have them try to get their leg away, and then I want you to go to legs only. This is going to work your training partner's escapes, It's going to work your ability to retain that position. Any questions? Start with everything. Give a few pulls. If they get out, reset, do it again. If they don't, legs only, pinching those knees together. Same position. Any questions? Yes.
Are we starting from standing in Ashi, or are we starting on the ground?
So start out just like we did on the last one, but training partners fall to the ground. You're going to extend your hips, they're going to break fall, and then you're going to get the grips, and you're going to start from there. All right? On three. 1, 2, 3. Don't forget to break fall, ladies and gents. That. So that's tight. All right, your knee line, and you're going to yes, and even you just went that far.
Even then, like, it's still a lot of danger.
Try to scoot away.
There's no worse feeling than being under stomach and not having to, like, I don't know what The other day I was thinking of this, and I heard a noise out in my backyard, and I turned without moving my knees, and I could feel my knee like twinge. I was like, geez, man, getting old, getting hurt, just turning my neck.
You could use an AC.
Remember, guys, give a few seconds with all of it, and then just go straight to legs only, and let them try to escape. Be careful with your legs, people that are escaping. Do not turn in a way that will destroy your knee. You will then be complicit in your own destruction. Will not be your training partner's fault.
That's the problem.
So try to scoot. Get your leg.
You know what I'm doing.
Now go ahead and just do what you need to turn and scoot. Try to get that leg on. You can use your other foot to put on his butt. Try to pull your leg out. There you go. Now pull that leg free. Pull, pull, pull. Good job.
To do it.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Now,
2 legs against 1 is.
when you go hands only, take your hands completely off of his leg. No pinch it with your arm and your tricep. Let it go completely. And see how long you can hold that leg. Just the knees, just the pinching of the legs. That's a different game altogether.
Yeah, it worked, huh?
I use your
Hit the toe. Hit the toe on the palm. So, funny that you mentioned that there are gyms within this region that teach that as a technique.
It's legal?
You want to try it, or? It's, I mean, there's no rule. Well, there are rules in some tournaments that say no putting things in work.
He's like, I gotta find an answer.
I just take 4 of my fingers out and bam, start grabbing you by your overhand. They're gonna be like, DQ. But if you stick a toe in, that's fine. My concern is this. If I go break my toe, if I jam one on the place, if I mess around and twist my, I'm just gonna put my foot flat on your behind.
Especially if you can find.
Some now go on to forward. John Denver likes to say, my best John Denver was.
Yeah.
And put it in from one and trying to sit up. I didn't finish in a close eye contact. That's my favorite. Dan's not getting out, and he's got scared. And you're like, oh.
Get away.
So, from me to you, flat foot.
Now we're playing.
That's about as close as it gets. Listen, hey, the worst that can happen is you get home and turn on your phone and get a friend request. Oh. Hey,
I would just tell the ref I had the whole hand going on. It wasn't
a digit.
Yeah, it wasn't digit. It's the whole hand.
Good. So let's start from standing. Walk all the way up. All All right, buddy, now go ahead.
I'm gonna really try.
Your stuff. Now Leo falls down. Sorry. So see how far his knee is? This is your knee line.
There's nothing to do about that. I mean, it's
Take that right.
that was all by force. And it's just a
Around and put down. Yeah, I felt like I was pushing the hand down.
But that's a matter of
And I
time.
need you to just put yourself forward. Pitch those legs. Put this over here and try to touch your shin to your knee. So whatever's more comfortable for you. But see, his knee line is here now. And his knee is here now. You went from here to there, a matter of about, a few inches, but the throw is this. And you just grab that and you lift your elbow up, reach your fingers as deep as you can.
You go right back.
And now just let your elbow be to your side. Does that feel like it's a stronger hold? Yeah. Now you let him try to get push. He doesn't get away. Go both hands out. Just pinch your knees and see if you can. Go ahead, scoop it. Try to get away. Keep those knees pinched. Knees pinch is the strongest. Yes. Yes.
Two on one leg is fine.
Because you really are only punching what's wrong.
The other one's trying to
I'm here. I'm immediately doing this.
I think like I want to push back with that. Look what's not happening. You're pushing on that.
As soon as I start to push, it's like you're doing with the arm across your hands.
What, like the shin? No, but I mean like if you like
Circle up.
When you push me down, it feels so cool.
All right, just to reinforce some things, and we're going to keep going over it over and over again. We got some people who make the class, some people who don't, and we get into these situations. And so we end up in this scenario where Matt goes and I didn't get good positioning. His technique doesn't suck. I tried to do this. He's got great technique, and he pushes me on my back. I'm here. In this scenario, guys, he's going for that straight ankle. We need to get past this knee and get this off our hip, right? So we need to get this off here, and we've got to get past this knee. Some people get there, and they start to come out and around, and they're sitting on the ankle, and they think this is the end of it, right? But it's not. I'm not going to go anywhere, and I'm not out of this position until I get past this knee, right here. If I don't get past this knee, he's going to keep me here all day. I try to come forward, he just straightens his knee out, just point the knee in. Yeah, there you go. Puts it in my chest, I can't get away, right? And as much as I can pull on this, he can reset, scoot back in, and get back into that position for that ankle, right? Same as with the standing. I've got to come here, and if I sit on it, if I peel that and sit on it, which is the technique to get away from this is a good basic technique, is sit it and then sit on it, so he can't reinsert that foot. Now you don't want, I have it right now because we're demonstrating, I have it tucked under my leg, I'm not sitting on it, but when you're rolling, feel free to sit on their ankle and their shin. It's not going to be comfortable, but it's also uncomfortable when he throws it back in and gets the tap, right? So it's a battle of escaping and a battle of wills at this point. I'm sitting on his ankle here, I scoot until I can get away from that. Personally, I like to come up over this knee, and I love to end up in a position like this. This is great. Take the rack, I can sit up. One more time. Let's see. If you have a hard time getting this off of your hip, right? Your thumbs down, you use leverage, and maybe his everything is there. You're just not making progress, but he's starting to get the submission. If you need to, guys, you can come across and start grabbing that forearm, breaking some of that grip, holding on here. This is not an end-all be-all, and this is not a truly effective escape as much as it is a stalling technique to keep this person from finishing. If you start to feel like they're bending your foot, and you can put your foot around and do praying feet, where he wants to bend that foot, but you brace it with your other foot to keep that from happening. That too will buy you some time. Notice these things aren't getting me out of the position. They're just buying me some time, okay? While I stay here. Sometimes you can come underneath. That grip on that side might not be the best. You're stalling in two places. You're here. He may get frustrated, try to move his legs around, and then you can start to find your escape. Bringing this foot out, sticking it in here, might not be a good idea either if you're not really well versed in leg locks, because then you just poke that heel right out for the heel hook, okay? If you are, you know that there's a 50-50. I'm a little more at advantage here because his leg is not through. So it's not true 50-50, it's just a sort of position like 50-50. The actual 50-50 position looks like this. Why is it called 50-50? He's in as much position as I'm in position. It's the same thing.
So much fun.
Huh?
So much fun.
So much fun, because it's who's more confident, who's got the better attack game, yeah. Who's going for things. In this scenario, let's talk about this. Matt shoots that through for the submission. Boom, boom, he gets right there. He goes to lock it. I reached over his leg. I'm here hooking his thing. This is all things that are gonna happen. He's going for that. I'm scooting back and I'm leaning on this foot. Maybe that gets it, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I can switch it over. Come in here, I can start grabbing for a wonky heel hook. There's another heel hook. But this is not just me being, I'm awesome. This is all the opportunities he would have as well. If he pushes this leg off, good. And then that heel's there. When this is a tight, I'm already tapping from this. Because just turning and getting that position has my knee going high. So that's stuff you gotta think about, okay? A little bit of a philosophy when it comes to leg locks in the beginning. I encourage you to escape leg locks as best you can. Learn the positions, learn where you feel comfortable, learn where you feel in danger. But here's the thing, food always runs, and it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when you're gonna get submitted with a leg lock if all you ever do is run. So when you come to the leg lock game, learn the escapes, be comfortable with your escapes, and eventually you're gonna need to start blending in attacks with escapes. From personal experience, I spent probably 6 months to a year running from leg locks. Frustrated to no end because I kept getting submitted. Well, guess what? If you never start trying to attack yourself, you're never gonna get a submission. And that person feels free to attack your legs at will because guess what? They're not in any danger. The day I decided to, instead of continue to run, and I just went, I'll grab their leg. It changed instantly. I noticed something. That person didn't attack my foot as strong as they were. They started trying to escape some as well. And I went, there's the light bulb going off. Now, there's something there. So whether you are actually attacking with confidence and skill and technique, or you're just grabbing it and going like this, playing a very good game of charades, thinking that you've got a good leg lock and you're about to rip their ankle off, and they go, whoa, wait a minute. It gives you an opportunity to get out. But I would suggest getting good at the leg locks, getting good at the escapes, knowing the mechanics of them, remembering your leg lock tiers of opportunity to escape, knowing which ones you should probably just go ahead and tap to, and knowing the ones that you have a little time, okay? This straight ankle that we're in, Matt jumps up, boom, I get knocked down. I've got some time here. I boot my foot so it's tough for him to get the angle. Notice his hand comes down around my calf, but if my ankle was relaxed, he could have reached underneath my, yes, much tighter. The foot's being extended much more. In this scenario, a heel hook is difficult because my heel is hitting my foot straight. For the straight ankle, this is terrible. My foot's already extended and it's getting stretched. So all he really has to do is just lean to the side and hip forward and it's done. Yeah, the hips start to extend the foot. I try to escape this, and as I go to turn, I stop here for some reason to take a picture of the mural on the wall, and he throws in the heel hook. Now, booting my foot earlier to keep myself from getting ankle locked is now a bad idea. Now I want to point it straight. The opposite of what I was just in, where being straight was dangerous. Now I want it straight to get my knee out from between that knee line. If I sit here too long and I'm like this, Matt can switch the foot over to the side of his head, take your left hand and grab my ankle, pull it up next to your head. Pull it up next to your head. Now I'm in knee bar, right? But I pop this off and I come close. Where do we end up? 50-50. Now it's a shootout. Now it's whoever's got the advantage, whoever's going for things. I bring my feet together, I cross them so he can't really get around a foot too much, and now I'm looking at his foot. Ah, he crossed his up too, right? Look, see? No, I'm saying that's good. You crossed yours up. It's tough for me to get at, so I'm gonna have to start battling, figuring out a way to get out in the meantime. One thing I need to do if I just want to escape this state is I gotta get my foot in a position, and I haven't showed you guys this yet, but a good neutral position where your foot's relatively safe, you can defend from, okay, is your knee comes towards escaping the knee line, but your foot is in a place where it's difficult for him to attack, right? That's from toe holds, knee bars, heel hooks, straight ankles, right? Is this. If I can get here, and my foot is in the middle of his chest or right at his solar plexus, look, my knee's outside of his knee line underneath, and he can't really toe hold it. Can you get around it for a toe hold? See, first he grabs it, go ahead and go for a toe hold. He's got to move it and try to get down here. That's not really going to work for a toe hold, right? Can't pull it back in for a knee bar. Can't get the angle for the straight. And then a heel hook, he may be able to apply some pressure, but I'm not going to sit there. I make a frame on his shins with my shin, and I start pulling my foot out. So if you can get your foot here, go ahead, lay back. You can get your foot kind of in the middle here and press it down into his sternum or stomach. The lower you get, the safer your legs can be. Does that mean it's over? Now he's just going to let go and call you the man? No, he's going to keep trying, right? But one thing it does for you, look at my knee line. Look at his knee. Whose knee is in danger now? Now I can bring it across. I can maybe do a pseudo knee bop. He twists it to get out whatever way he wants to. I can switch to any of this stuff. This leg comes over to help. Oh, I like that. I'll pull it over too. The more I can have, the better. And guys, look, if you're losing this fight, just a little added piece of advice. If I'm losing this fight, I have no leg issue here, I have no leg attempt here. And be realistic with it. Hold it. When he stops fighting and he gives that second to break, use it to come up and advance. Okay? You know you're losing that leg. Let's be honest. We're losing the leg in that situation. Let's not just totally separate and go back to a neutral. We just got finished the fight. Grapplers like to grapple, keep the connection, try to come up, get a good position. Turn a bad into a good, right? Any questions about any of that? All right, guys. So, key takeaways. Run through them real fast. We're here, nice and low, in line, foot away. Your technique sucks. Hop over, you're in a good spot. He shoots up, pushes me down, boom, pinches his knees. That's gonna be super strong to keep my foot from getting away. Boom, pinches his knees together, holds that leg, right? All right, now, for me to escape, I've gotta clear it, hop up and sit on it, hand on the knee, either hop through, or you can just keep hopping around. Let's say we're in whatever leg lock we end up in, we don't know what to do, grab an arm, pull it up, praying feet gives us some time. If we can get our foot out, don't stick it right back in. And if you need a safe place to set it, just put it on their stomach. All right? And if you can get it there, kind of in the middle, then they're gonna have to adjust, come closer to get it back into position. Or they can start trying to come up. Either way, you can push them back some with your foot. You can start coming up. Take those away. If you take one of those away, you'd be better off than before. All right, on 3, we're gonna stand by, roll. 1, 2, 3. All right, everybody, feet together.